Welcome to New Life Live with host and founder of New Life Ministries, Stephen Arterburn. For 35 years, New Life has been transforming lives one at a time thanks to the giving hearts of you, our listeners. Our goal is to provide you with wisdom from God's Word to give you hope and help in life's hardest places. If you have a question you'd like to ask today, our phone lines are open. Call 1-800-229-3000. That number again is 1-800-229-3000. Now here's Steve.
Hi there, and welcome to New Life Live. It is Friday. We're happy about that. Many of you are also. We're happy that you could still sign up for Emotional Freedom, which is tomorrow, online, easy to do. Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris and Chris Williams, myself, are presenting the information, and a team of great Christian counselors are going to work with you with your problem in a group of others, and it really makes it for a very impactful day, and we're all looking forward to that. 1-800-229-3000 if you want to join us here. Hey, speaking of emotional freedom, how does past trauma impact emotions? I mean, it's different for every person, but what are some of the residual things that happen as a result of trauma?
Well, we hear the word trigger used pretty frequently, and people don't really necessarily know what that means. Our nervous system keeps a record of our experiences, good and bad. And there are times when we'll have what we call an implicit memory. There's no date time stamp, but your body has remembered some experience. And you walk into a room and someone says something, or you smell something, or hear a song, and now your body is back in that dangerous situation. Yeah. And often we begin to behave accordingly. And doing trauma work helps us to learn how to regulate our emotions when our body is triggered, so that we can start to ease some of that emotional pain when that trigger comes up, and eventually become more desensitized to it, so that it's not something that we're negatively reacting to.
Very good. Sheri, you have a thought about the impact of trauma.
Yeah.
You're a specialist in this area, and we respect that.
Well, I was just thinking how well you talked about triggers, girl. That was brilliant. I think about attachment and how trauma in our past impacts how close we get with others or how distant we are from others. I was just talking with a couple recently, and one of the couple was saying, based on how they were treated by their mom, they basically find themselves holding their arm out towards their spouse, not physically, but just like emotionally. They've kept them at bay. I kind of could see, like, in my mind, I was like, that's kind of like a quarterback. You know, you got yourself, your football, but you're running around in the world, keeping everyone an arm's length away, kids and relationship. But that comes out of hurt. And I think a lot of times we say we don't want to go back to the past. I don't want to turn up that stuff. Why? It just seems like it's been a long time. But when our past is leaking into the present by a behavior like that, it's no longer in the past. It's actually in the present. Right. So we have to deal with it if we want to make the changes.
We don't want to. But how many times has the don't want to be, it's really the need to, and once you do, well, it helps. We're going to help you with that at Emotional Freedom. You can find out about it. Join newlife.com, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. It's tomorrow. And really, if it didn't work, we wouldn't be doing it. We would have done it one time, and we would have either changed everything or we would have quit doing it. That we have no need to be taking a Saturday to do something that doesn't help people. This will help you. 1-800-NEW-LIFE to find out about it. Really glad you're listening. Maybe you could tell someone else about us. If you missed the program, we've got the New Life app, newlife.com. You can just subscribe to the podcast from your favorite podcast provider. YouTube, we have a channel there, the New Life Live YouTube channel. A lot of ways to see and to hear. We love getting to do this, because, well, we don't have to wonder what people are dealing with these days. We get to hear it every single day.
We have been estranged off and on for 10 years or more, and he has a lot of grievances and anger and bitterness and hatred toward me.
Our daughter is the problem. She said, I don't want to be in your life right now.
Hi, Steve Arterburn here. Courageous Parents, Transforming Relationships with Your Adult Sons and Daughters. It's an online workshop with Dr. Jim Burns, Dr. Jill Hubbard, and me. I think it will change the way you see your adult children.
I was never prepared for doing life with my adult children. Some of our kids bumped and violated values that we never dreamed they would, and there's some principles that we can talk about.
With insightful teaching and the guidance of a credentialed New Life counselor, this one-day online workshop, Saturday, April 1st, will provide practical advice and hopeful encouragement for navigating the parent-adult-child relationship. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE to register or to find out more. To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. I hope you would see and feel like whenever there is an emotional, spiritual issue, addiction, anything, you just call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And people woke up this morning knowing, hoping you'd call. We'd call you if we knew your number and knew that you were struggling, but we don't. So you have to call us. But people love it. They love helping people get better. That's what we want to do. It's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Well, let's go to Connie from Peoria, Illinois, WPEO. Hi, Connie. How are you today? What's going on?
Hi, I'm really nervous. I thank
Okay.
you for taking my call. And for 30 years, I had what I thought was a fantastic marriage. And then I knew my husband had a very inappropriate friendship with a work person.
Mm-hmm.
But I was very upset about that. But I did not know that it was an actual year-long affair until 3 years ago.
Oh, my goodness.
I've read Sheri's book. He is a Bible-believing Christian. It just blows me totally away. He was a fantastic father to our children. He acts 100% repentant. But I am struggling. I can't get over it.
I know.
That not just the fact that he had the affair, but that he lied about it. He lied to my face about it.
Sure.
Help.
Oh, boy. Well, you've called the right day because I've been where you are, and these two women know how to help you and know the direction to give you. So,
I've
Sheri,
read Sheri's book.
Why don't we start with you, Sheri? What are you thinking here?
Well, I'm glad you've read my book, girl. Where do you feel like you're stuck? Because you know my story, and I get it. You know, your husband's a Bible-believing Christian. Mine was a pastor. And when we have given our heart and mind and soul and body to somebody who we feel is being who they are, like we think whatever we're seeing on the surface is really who they are. So we trust that until we learn otherwise. And this was 27 years into your 30-year marriage you found out, even though you asked him. Your gut...
It was actually at 30 years.
You found
30 years into our marriage.
That you found out about it. So you've been married 33.
Yeah. No, that's not true. I got to clarify. We had a wonderful marriage for 30 years.
Okay.
Then the affair happened. And then I didn't know that it was sexual until 3 years ago. So we've been married 46 years. I'm old.
How sad. That is, not that you're old, but just the way this is. How did you find it? Did he tell you about it, or how did you find out about it?
We went on a family life cruise, and Gary Chapman gave a talk, and afterwards, I think the conviction was so great, he confessed on the cruise, and I felt like a caged animal because I had no place to go and nobody to talk to.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm deeply sorry, for certain we are, about the betrayal and when it happened and how long you've healed broken. I healed broken as well. I felt like I was limping for a long time. Where are you stuck right now? Where are you stuck?
I am stuck because I read the Bible, forgiveness. I am the second person that wouldn't forgive. The first guy, whatever he was in Matthew, forgave. And then he went to the second guy and wouldn't forgive him. And I'm that person. I'm supposed to forgive because the Lord forgave him. But every time you talked about triggers, there's so many triggers.
Yeah.
I hear a sermon. It seems like in every sermon, sexual betrayal comes up as one of those sins that you're not supposed to do. And you're not.
So have you
how
ever...
do I get past?
Yeah. I hear
I
that...
go to counseling.
Your husband said he acts 100% repentant. But this is the deal. Does your husband, and maybe have you even ever listened to your own heart, to write down the impact that this year-long affair has had on you? The impact of his bull-faced lying right to your face when your gut was telling you something wasn't right. The impact to what that does in the third decade of being committed to each other, the impact that you're having now, 15, 16 years later. Have you ever written that out?
No.
Okay, that is what I want you to do. It is so important that you put your pain down. You write it in impact. I do this all the times with couples where there's been sexual betrayal. There's a disclosure, a full disclosure, and then after that, there's an impact letter. And then after that, there is a restitution or empathy letter that he writes back and reads to you. And this impact letter is read with another counselor there to, and I will have wives write the impact letter, and I will sit with them as they're sharing it with their husbands. And it's important. And a lot of the guys don't get it. They just don't get it until they hear the grit, until they hear, everyone wants forgiveness. Let's just get forgiveness so we can get past it. But so much gets buried alive. And so I think that would be a step for you.
Big healing step.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, I just want to say this. When I was betrayed, I've told people this before, I wanted to kill her. Literally. That's not just an expression. I did. And that's how angry I was. And, you talk about here he was a Bible-believing Christian doing this. Here I was, a Bible-believing Christian, wanting somebody to be dead. So we had something in common. We have something in common, and you have something in common with him. We're feeling horrible things, and we're not able to forgive. I did work on forgiveness, but it started with grieving. I had to grieve. I had to express the anger, the bitterness. Then I didn't want to kill her. I just wanted her to die on her own. So I was making progress, you could say, and eventually I just wanted her to be sick. But now we have a good relationship. I pray good things for her, but it's a process, and I'm going to invite you to enter that process. We do this Restore Weekend for women, and it's a tragedy that we have to, because when someone betrays you, they give you two jobs. One, deal with the hurt of betrayal, and two, climb the steep, rocky cliffs of forgiveness. You got two jobs. I have to deal with this pain, thank you. And now I have to forgive you to be free. Thank you. That's your assignment. That's your dilemma. And I hope and pray somehow that you're going to be able to get up those cliffs. Jacqui Mack-Harris, what are you thinking here?
I'm thinking about your struggle with forgiveness. And forgiveness, I think of as an active thing. It's not something that's a one-time deal. It's not a one-shot, one kill. You may say, okay, I hear you, I forgive you, we're going to work on our marriage. And then you get triggered. Sorry about that.
And when you get triggered, it doesn't mean you're not forgiving when you get a trigger.
Right, you
remind
get triggered.
Yeah.
It just it brings you back to that pain point, and now you have to do work to recover again. So that's the grieving process. And I think sometimes we think we're not doing it right because it hurts so bad.
Yeah.
It's not that you're doing it wrong. It hurts. It's a tragedy.
It hurts.
It hurts, but the only way through is through. And so moving through the grief and the pain and dealing with the triggers, your body remembers certain things. And so, the way someone picks up their phone, or they take their phone in the bathroom with them, or they're coming home late, and certain things happen now, and he may not be doing anything, but your nervous system doesn't know the difference. And so it puts you right back in that space where those things were happening. And you've got to get some time in those, in your body, in those experiences, to start to heal your body, and doing some trauma work could help. We don't realize how interpersonal trauma affects us in similar ways that physical trauma affects us.
Yep.
And I just want to mention one thing. So often, Connie, we do bear the burden of having to figure out what to do with ourselves and our own healing. But I also tell the guys, I said, you have 95% responsibility to grow in your ability to be empathetic and to work on hearing her heart and taking ownership over each one of these impact. For you to get in her skin, partners know, we as betrayed partners know when the one who's betrayed us is just saying, yeah, I'm sorry, because they want to get past it, or if they've really reckoned with the damage that they've caused. And that may be a step that both of you may need some help in getting through. And we've got some New Life counselors right in your area that can help you guys get through this. You don't want to stay stuck in this place.
And I would say your level of hurt, you're not just going to benefit from pastoral counseling. You really need a professional that specializes, that can walk you through this. Now, I've got two things. If you sense that he's got any kind of problem ongoing, well, that's every man's battle. For you, the forgiveness process can be aided greatly at Restore. For both of you, the Intimacy and Marriage Weekend in February with Mylon and Kay, it is totally different from any other conference for marriages I know. And if I knew of anything better for you two, I would tell you about it. But we've been working on this for a long time, and couples that hate each other, can't forgive each other, find kind of a supernatural experience there. And this is going to be the last time that Mylon and Kay do the workshop with us, so this would be the time to go. We'll tell you all about that. Please join us, if you possibly can, for any of these workshops tomorrow, Emotional Freedom. This is what we do. This is how we work to transform lives, not to make people feel better or whatever. We want to see total transformation. That's where we're headed here. All right, let's go to, how about we talk with Sue. Sue is calling us all the way from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and she watches on the YouTube channel. Hi, Sue, how are you?
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I'm a little convoluted in my dilemma, and I'm just going to give a really brief, because I know your time's limited, backdrop. Since 2020 and COVID hit, my daughter has been diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer.
Oh,
my father was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, and I am raising a 10-year-old grandson because my daughter is very unhealthy. And I say my husband's obviously part of the equation. But during all of these traumas, it became apparent that he was being unfaithful. Mm-hmm. And it was through discovery. So, no disclosure. I became my own best investigator, and I was able to trace it back all the way to the year we got married, 40 years ago.
Oh, dear.
And it's very intermittent, but we're scheduled for a disclosure, which is the 20th today, and he's still very reluctant and does not want to work hard at what he's working. He says the right things, but his words and actions aren't matching.
Yeah.
And I'm starting chemo with my daughter again on Monday.
Okay, hold on. This is something I'm so glad you called.
For most of my life, I've been dealing with an opiate addiction.
Why is opioid addiction quickly becoming one of our nation's biggest killers? Maybe it's because it isn't only those who are addicted who are in denial.
We did what I see so many parents do, is it can't be an addiction. There's something medically wrong.
It's impossible to solve a problem when you don't know what you're up against, and families will try to find any explanation except the one that will put them on the right path.
Alcoholism and drug addiction is a family disease. It doesn't affect just the individual.
If someone you love is abusing painkillers, know what you're up against. It's time to admit it's addiction and seek treatment. Call us today at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. We have Christ-centered partner treatment centers around the country. Call 1-800-639-5433 or visit us online at newlife.com.
We just made a decision. We will do whatever it takes.
1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I was sort of vaguely familiar that the 12 steps had some origination in the Bible. I found Life Recovery, and one of the things I liked so much was that it had such a broad appeal. It wasn't limited to just alcohol or drugs, that it was addressing a wide range of problems.
At New Life, we believe everyone can benefit from a life recovery experience. There are life recovery groups all over the country. They take place online, in conference calls, and in person. And if there isn't one in your area, we can help you start one. We have startup materials, leaders' guides, CDs, Bibles, and more, all with discounts available for groups. Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE and ask for Terry Ward. The 12 Steps have long been a great help to people in recovery because much of the 12 Steps' power comes from the fact that they capture principles clearly revealed in the Bible.
The 12 Steps is really a pattern for all of us as Christians.
Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433. We'd love to hear from you. If you have a question or a comment, call toll-free 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We're back. We're talking with Sue. Tragic situation coming up on a full disclosure, hopefully, here this Friday. Sue, we really feel for you, what you're going through. You haven't asked us a specific question. What is it in all of this that you think we could help you with?
Well, we're 18 months out from discovery, and basically, we're both with CSAT. He didn't go with one until my boundary was set. There was going to be a therapeutic separation, and a counselor had to be part of the equation. My thing is, as our conversations evolve, he feels like I know everything because I've looked up everything. And I haven't divulged to him everything I know. Yeah. But with the disclosure, how do I protect my heart when I know that I'm going to be hurt again in this? And my heart really wants reconciliation. We're married 40 years. We're still raising a child together.
So, tell us how we could help you. What are you hoping for us?
How can you tell me to keep that hope alive? I know that Sheri has used the word hopium before, and that I don't want to live on hopium. I want to live on reality. And if he's not doing what's necessary, how do I do this? How do I move forward?
Now, has he gone to Every Man's Battle by any chance?
He's resistant to anything. No, he's an alcoholic. He has triple addictions: alcohol, porn, and he's a sex addict. He's been diagnosed as a sex addict.
Okay. Well, Sheri, she read your book, so I'm going to just ask you to...
Do you have my book?
I do. I have your book, and I actually am a member of Brave One.
Okay. Yeah. So how do you protect your heart? So your husband is dually addicted. And, you know, I talk about the importance of having the pillars, safety and truth, right? And we really, as betrayed partners, can't feel totally safe. We don't feel totally safe in our own bodies and our hearts and our mind and our intuition until we know the truth. And that's what you're getting ready to walk into today, right? Is the truth. Or the 20th is when you're doing it. Now, let me just say this. I've never, ever done a disclosure where everything is known by the spouse. I've never had that. What you've been on is a truth-seeking mission, and you have a whole lot of stuff. But when I do disclosures, I actually, a part of the disclosure process is I have my betrayed partners ask questions that are true and false questions that can be polygraphed along with the disclosure. But my thought is, until the whole truth comes forward, and I'm not talking about the gory details, I'm talking about the facts about what he's done, your husband won't have a chance to get free because he's harboring lies. He's harboring shame. He's harboring acts that he still needs to hide. And I see transformation often happen right here, Sue, where a husband comes through this, and now that they've disclosed, if they're being honest, right, and if there's a process that's well buttoned up, then now you're going to be impacted. Your heart's going to break. And you're going to reach out to some very safe friends of yours, to other women that you know who get it. So you don't have to explain it all, but that can love your heart with what you not only know, but what you don't know. And then, guess what? Then you have a chance to start looking at what he's going to do with his recovery process. Is he going to be willing to go to Every Man's Battle? Right? Is he still going to be resistant? Is he still going to be drinking alcohol? Is he willing to get into SA? Is he willing to get into AA? Like all of those things, Sue, this full disclosure is one step in the process of somebody coming clean and making a change. But hopium is, okay, we're going to do this step and then, hey, we're going to be together for the rest of our marriage. You know, if he's going to be safe, if he's going to be sober, if he's going to be honest, then you're not relying on hopium. You're relying on his work and integrity and your choices around what you're doing with what he's doing with his multi-addictions.
Well, you need to be realistic about this, too, because, you know, someone who has been found out in an affair, a ongoing affair, someone who's been found out, usually, I mean, you would expect them to be willing to do anything they could to save, fix things. But he's an alcoholic. He's not in recovery. He's a sex addict. He's not in recovery. He's addicted to a human being, and he's not in recovery. So until he begins recovery, and see, and you might even be thinking, he's got to get in recovery to stop, fully stop. But really, it's more than that. In Every Believer's Thought Life, I talk about this higher pleasure that you have to go for. You have to want more of a relationship with God than a temporary pleasure of pornography or a person or alcohol. Recovery really isn't about stopping at all. It's about finding the higher level of existence and wanting that more than the low-life existence of cheap thrills and instant gratification. That's what transformation's all about. And hopefully, the full disclosure might as Sheri said, might begin that process for him. We'll be back right after this.
My husband was involved with a pornography addiction. He was unfaithful. I called the wedding off. He stepped out on the marriage and ended up having a child.
The Restore Workshop is designed for a woman dealing with a man's sexual addiction issues.
My husband is a recovering sex addict. There were strip clubs, other ladies.
If you've been affected by betrayal, an emotional or physical affair, or pornography, the Restore Workshop will equip you with support and tools to help you through.
Restore has empowered me and has given me the tools to work through my anger, work through my pain, work through my confusion, and help me realize that I am worthy.
Being here and being surrounded by people who get it has given me my power back.
The Restore Workshop is coming to Orange County, California, February 24th through the 26th. To register or to find out more, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE or online at newlife.com.
Thank you, Restore. You have changed my life forever.
I was really living a very anxiety-filled life. I did go to Take Your Life Back. That's why I continue to support the ministry with the hope that not only am I helping my own situation, that I'm helping others as well.
You can help New Life stay on the air by joining Club New Life today. When you sign up to support us monthly through Club New Life, we'll send you the new member thank you gift of the 1-year Bible for men or the 1-year Bible for women. These Bibles combine the best-selling daily Bible reading format with 2-minute daily devotionals written to create a one-of-a-kind devotional Bible that you'll love. There are also ongoing benefits like the monthly Club New Life CD or download, access to the Club New Life video library, quarterly resources, and discounts on workshops. Call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Support Club New Life, and together we can help hurting people find help and hope in life's hardest places. Call 1-800-639-5433 to join Club New Life today. We're glad you joined us for New Life Live. To be a part of the program, call 1-800-229-3000. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back. You know, Hebrews 4:15 says, "For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but one who has been tempted in all things as we are, yet without sin." And I would just say this, you know, Scripture's pretty clear. The temptations come from within us. The crummy stuff comes up and out. And many times our shame leads to isolation, leads to more temptation. If we could help you, we want to. And Emotional Freedoms tomorrow, you can sign up for that. So many other things that we do. If things continue to come up from within that are tempting, we want to help. If you give a gift of any amount, we'll send you the brand new book, Every Believer's Thought Life. Great reviews on this, and it's about every believer's thought life. If you're a believer, it's about yours. Speaking of believers, here's one in the studio, Larry Sonnenberg, one of the great men of faith that I know. How are you, Larry, and what do you have for us?
Steve, doing well, thank you. A week or so ago, I shared with you that I had 2 testimonies that were kind of my favorites all time, and you shared one of yours. Well, I'm still looking for that one to play it on the air, but here's my other one of my favorite all times. Your ministry keeps me from walking around with a basket full of tears, from huddling in my bed in a fetal position, from lashing out at my kids with anger. Your ministry is literally my lifeline right now in the pain and suffering, a lifeline to God's Word, a lifeline to God. Your job is literally keeping people sane and functional during extreme hardship and crisis and sadness and loss. Your job is saving people's lives. New Life Ministries is saving people's lives. Maybe not like a medical doctor, but spiritually and mentally. You're all helping me save my life from where I could go to where I need to go. I just don't think it gets any better than that. I mean, folks, why don't you help us be lifesavers? You're a lifesaver when you make a gift to this ministry. And
you are.
It's just, it's hard to even speak after a testimony like that. That's powerful.
Very.
And we want you to join us with that. So please make a gift to New Life. It will go to really good work and be stewarded well. So,
Larry, when you said that, and then you said lifesaver, I have to share with you one of my all-time favorite testimonies. This was a woman who had been helped by us 16 years prior. And she said, I was about to have an abortion. I was depressed, and I came to you, and because of you, I did not have that abortion. I got the help I needed for my depression, and my son was born. He grew up and became an Eagle Scout. At a scouting camp, there was a young man drowning, and my son dove in and saved his life, but in the process, my son drowned.
Oh, my goodness.
But I want you to know, because of you, someone else's life was saved. My son's life existed with me for 16 years, and my life was saved. 3 lives because you were there. I mean, I was so grateful that all those years later she contacted me and let me know what had happened. I was so sad for her, but she had dealt with the grief and went into gratitude for 16 years with her son that she wouldn't have ever had if there had been an abortion. That's what we do here. That's what we strive to do. And if you can help us, call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Gift of any amount, and we will send you Every Believer's Thought Life. We need your help. We want to help others, and you can be part of that. Anything else, Larry?
No, just thank you to everybody who has given, is thinking
Yes.
of it, and is pulling over the road, stopping real suddenly to make a gift right now.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much. All right, thanks, Larry. Let's go to, how about we go to Gio here in Sacramento and see what he has to say. KFIA is the station. Gio, how are you today, and how can we help?
I'm good. So I have a quick question on relationship with my wife. We constantly get into arguments over the same thing, which kind of 2 topics, which is one, finances, and then she constantly tells me that she doesn't feel like I hear her or that I don't sacrifice anything for her. That she doesn't feel that she's a priority in my life, that she does so much for everyone. So she actually has 3 kids. She's 10 years older than me, so I kind of walked into a blended family. So she feels like she does everything for everyone at the house, that no one does anything for her, no one tries to make her happy or meet her needs, and then obviously primarily me. But when we get into arguments, she's constantly bringing up the past and everything she's done for me and, whatnot. And she's asked me what my needs are. And to be honest, I can't really think of any because I'm always trying to focus to make sure that I'm doing whatever I can to help out, making dinner for the kids or cleaning up or whatever when I get off of work and trying to still be there. So I don't really give myself that time to think what my needs are or what I want in life or in general. And then based on, for example, her needs is I don't clinically haven't been diagnosed because they didn't want to diagnose me at the doctor. But I was told that I had ADHD on one of your guys' or I had symptoms of ADHD on Emotional Freedom that I did with you guys a while back. And so one of her problems is that I start a project, kind of get most of the way done, and then start another one, which is, not fulfilling her needs because I'm not finishing what I started.
So what's the question for us then?
At this point, I don't really know what to do to, I guess make her feel heard or feel appreciated or loved or feel priority. Because everything I've tried that she says doesn't really work.
Okay, let's hear.
Lost in that point.
Okay, let's hear from Jacqui Mack-Harris and Sheri on what they think about this. Then I've got a comment or two here. What are you guys thinking here as you hear him? He fixes dinner and all these things, and her needs are not being met. What do you think?
I'm thinking that he may not be able to meet her need. There may be some things going on with her that she's looking for him to address. Sometimes people have a tendency to do and do and do for others, and they have a tendency to please by doing for others, and those people then expect that other people will do the same thing for them. And if I don't think of that thing, I'm probably not going to do it, but that makes them feel really hurt. It's making me think that it would be helpful for you all to be in couples therapy where you could learn to communicate in the way that you could both hear each other, and that you could also dig in and try to figure out where else have you felt this way? What else is going on? And so that she maybe isn't so upset with you, and she's doing some work on her own needs and her ability to meet her own needs. Often we're trying to get someone else to meet a need that is ours to meet, and if she can take a step back and take a look at that, she may feel better, but you aren't going to be the one that's able to tell her that. And so getting into couples therapy, I think, would be a huge help. And reading the book, How We Love, I think will show you how to have that conversation in a way that is curious and interested and empathetic, and that it's a problem-solving conversation, but just a different way of doing it with less attacks. But it does take someone to kind of help walk you through it the first few times. So couples counseling would be my suggestion.
So if you were in counseling with Jacqui, you see, your wife would eventually hear that you're not going to be able to do what she wants you to do. You're not going to be able to fix this need thing. And that would be so valuable to both of you for her to hear that. And when we get back, we'll hear from Sheri. But I'm so grateful that that's the direction you went, Jacqui, because it's easy to say, well, maybe you should try to be a better listener, things like that. And maybe you should. But still, I think Jacqui's really pointing to an unmet need there. And I hope that one of two things, either we can find a counselor for you, but I'd really love for you to go to Intimacy and Marriage here. I think all of these things would be so clear to both of you. We'll take a break, come back for our final segment. We'll talk to Letty in that segment. If you need some help, it's 1-800-NEW-LIFE. You can still sign up for Emotional Freedom tomorrow, 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
I'm about 100 pounds overweight. I'm 30 years old, and I'm just really discouraged. I'm scared. I don't want to feel again.
Does this sound like your story? It doesn't have to. The weight we carry on the outside is often a result of the burdens we carry on the inside. If you want to reduce your inner burden, New Life's Lose It for Life online workshop can help. This online workshop features a one-day Zoom session presented by Steve Arterburn on Saturday, March 18th, plus breakout sessions led by a credentialed New Life Network counselor. Fitness expert Michelle Spadafora will lead exercise sessions, plus you'll receive exercise gear to allow you to start a home fitness routine you'll actually enjoy. If you're finally ready to stop going from diet to diet and begin a comprehensive plan that addresses the psychological, emotional, and spiritual aspects of a healthy lifestyle, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433 or go to newlife.com.
Hi, this is Steve Arterburn, and for 30 years, New Life has been the most trusted name in Christian counseling.
I'm an addict, and I'm trying to get God in my life again. You seem to be able to get to the crux of a problem quickly.
Our Christ-centered treatment programs can help you break free to embrace all that God has for you and your family.
I just want to thank you guys for bringing me to a relationship with Jesus.
There really is help for marital problems, depression, addictions, panic attacks, and feelings of hopelessness.
I came back with so many tools to help me prepare myself to
fight this struggle and this battle that I have every day.
You can start living again today, living the life God intended for you. Help is available at 1-800-NEW-LIFE.
They did care, and they did follow up very lovingly, and it made all the difference in my life.
Call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Someone who cares is waiting at the other end of the phone. God can open the door to a better tomorrow right now. Just call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. 1-800-639-5433.
To find out more information about New Life or to order any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. Now back to New Life Live.
We are back and talking with Gio, and really in a tough spot here. And Jacqui Mack has said, maybe you can't meet that need, or that you can't. She's going to have to find a way to get that need met, and then your marriage is going to be easier. So, Dr. Sheri Keffer, what are you thinking here?
So, hey, Gio, one thing I really love about you? You're a learner. I love that you're a learner. You like to grow in that way. And we started the program, interesting, Steve opened it up talking about trauma of the past. And we talked about triggers and then how it leaks into the present. One of the questions that I wonder about with you, Gio, did you grow up in a home where there was a single parent for a period of time? Were your folks divorced or your dad not around?
Well, I know my mom was single for a bit, I think till the age of I was 6, and then I had a stepdad, but he was mainly at work 90% of the time. So I guess practically raised my mom.
You know what? I think that has something to do with this. Dr. Jacqui's so wise. And because when I work with couples like yourself and your wife, Gio, I do a history to find out a little bit about their stories, because this is the deal. I think even as a little guy at 6 years old with a stepdad that wasn't around very much, I think because as a little boy you wanted to protect and provide for your mom in your own little boy sort of way, you've grown up feeling somewhat burdened by the idea of caretaking. It's like you felt like you needed to take care of your mom instead of she needed to take care of you. And it may even be why you married your wife. You might have unconsciously or consciously been looking for more of a maternal partner to kind of care for you. Now, I don't know your wife's story, but it makes me wonder if she grew up as in a family where she was like firstborn, where she was the oldest and responsible for a whole lot of kids and stuff. And I don't know what was going on in her family, but she has some longings, unrealistic expectations that somebody else would take care of her. And based on both your pasts, you're colliding in the center with some wounds that haven't been cared for yet. And that's what good therapy, good couples counseling can help you guys undo, is really look back and go, oh my goodness. So that's why I'm expecting that. Oh my goodness, that's why I feel overwhelmed. And find a new pattern of relating that's fair, that's built on a better foundation than the past running your present marriage.
Okay, so we feel for you, I do, because I feel like you're wanting to serve and you have this need. And by the way, when we're separate from somebody, all that service that's so wonderful, it does not help. It does not fulfill the need. In fact, it even produces some distance. I'm going to send you Every Believer's Thought Life. I want to send you How We Love. I hope that will help. I'd love for you to come to Intimacy in Marriage, and maybe we can even help out with that in some way. But God bless you, and let us at least give you some resource, some counselors in your area that might be able to help. And thank you for calling us. I did say I'd go to Letty, and so that's exactly what I'm going to do. San Dimas, Letty, don't have a lot of time, but wanted to get to your call.
Okay.
So you're going to have to make it really brief.
Me and my husband have been married for 30 years, and last year, the end of the year, I found out he was watching porn, and I thank God he exposed that to me, and we're working on it.
Okay.
And then my husband is in law enforcement, and he wouldn't talk about what he did. He would just say, "Oh, no, you don't need to know. I'm just going to protect you." But he finally confessed what he does. He has to look at videos, all their the cell phones, all their electronics, tablets, you name it. And there's a lot of porn on there.
Yeah.
A lot of horrible things that he has to watch. So I'm just concerned because we're working on his porn watching or his addiction. What does he need to ask does he need to quit his job? Does he need to ask his supervisor? Because he is a supervisor.
Well, I would just, off the top of my head, I think he needs to ask to get into a different area. He would just say to whomever he would say it to, this is kind of impacting me. He doesn't need to talk about himself personally. He just, I've seen so much of this. It's really starting to get to me. I'd like to ask for a different type of work that wouldn't expose me to all this stuff, because I think it's even affecting my marriage, and just make it all present tense, doesn't have to reveal anything else. I would imagine they would honor that request. Any thoughts here, Sheri or Dr. Jacqui Mack-Harris?
I've had this happen. I've had situations, couples just like this, Letty, and you know what? If the wife is not okay with her husband looking at pornography as part of his profession, it's not okay for the marriage.
Yeah, right.
And so a change needs to be made, or you won't ever feel safe.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he won't either. Because if he's doing work and he's trying to work on his sexual integrity, every time he's sitting in there, he's thinking about it, and he's suffering through whatever's happening on the job, whatever he's looking at, and he needs to make the best decision for his own mental health as well. And so I agree with Sheri. It's not good for the marriage, and he's bringing it up. He's thinking about it. I would encourage conversation and curiosity with him, getting him to talk about what it is like for him and how it is harming him and harming the marriage, and so that he can make the decision to get a transfer to some other department.
And if he says something like this, Letty, I can split it off. That's my job. It doesn't really impact my individual life. Then I would have him come to Every Man's Battle.
Yeah,
I would invite him to come, so he's got a bunch of guys around him that can give him the courage to do what he needs to do.
Well, the fact is, a person that's recovering from alcoholism, we would never tell them it's okay to have a job as a wine taster. It just
right.
It doesn't
work at a bar and
go be a sommelier.
This is the same thing here.
Yeah.
And I think because you are bothered by it, you're giving him a nudge, an excuse, a further impetus, inspiration, motivation to do it. And it's doing him a favor is the point I'm getting to us. And I think he can find another place. I know of a gentleman, married guy, police. He was one of the ones that worked trying to eliminate prostitution. And you can imagine what kind of situations that put him in. And eventually, he just had to stop and get transferred, and it just worked out beautifully. There was no negative to that. Well, you've heard us talk about these transformational, life-changing experiences, and one is tomorrow, the Emotional Freedom Workshop online. It's pretty easy to do, right there in the comfort of your own home. Every Man's Battle is February 4th. It's online also. We only do it online once a year for anybody that just can't or wouldn't travel. Intimacy in Marriage is February the 17th. And I don't know of anything better for a marriage, and this will be our last time with Mylan and Kay. And so if you've been saying I should do that someday, do it this time. Restore, February 24th. Lose It for Life online, March 18th. And Courageous Parenting with Jim Burns on these adult children, April 1st. If you need help, 1-800-NEW-LIFE. If you can help us, the gift of thanks, every believer's thought life. Thank you, Sheri and Jacqui.
Thanks for listening. We hope this program has helped you by giving you insights for handling the challenges you face in your life. We want you to know that we're here for you, but But you also need to know that New Life Live is a listener-supported ministry. To make your donation or to get any of the resources mentioned on today's program, call 1-800-NEW-LIFE. That's 1-800-639-5433, or write to us at New Life Ministries, P.O. Box 1029, Lake Forest, California, 92609. Please join us again on Monday for New Life Live.
Hi, thank you for watching New Life Live. You know, New Life Live is a Christian counseling program where we deal with the hard questions about life, relationships, kids, free choice, freedom of will, whatever. It's all right there on New Life Live every day, every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. If you want to call into the live broadcast, you can find the schedule on newlife.com or click the social media link right below. You can see every episode of New Life Live on the New Life YouTube channel. Watch it with a friend, watch it later. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell so you'll never miss another episode. So if you want to listen on the go, download the app. The link is right below. And I hope if you need some information, if you want to get some help, you'll call us at 1-800-NEW-LIFE. And I'll see you next time.